Good morning, everyone. I am here today with Bryan Connor, and he's not a stranger to any of you. And we've had an interview a few times, but today I want to get to talk to him about his experience at the Blue Collar Summit, as well as where he is in the businesses. So a lot has changed in the last year for you. I'm not sure when we talked last time. Do you? Are you?
Yeah, it was it wasn't too terribly long ago. I'd say within the past 4 months or so.
I think we talked about Christmas and your Christmas light
Yeah,
install last time. Yeah. So if anybody wants
that's
to
right.
hear how successful that was, that would be great. And we'll cover some of your things that were successful for you this year. But where are you in the company? How many locations? How are they doing right now?
Yeah, so I'm just transitioning into my new role. Last year, I was the estimator for our larger location, the Augusta, Georgia one. We've got the North Augusta, South Carolina location. It's just started its third season. Um, Mukit is the general manager over there. Jeremy's the general manager of Augusta. And then we just started fresh with Matthew, Jeremy's brother, in Aiken, South Carolina. So that's our third location. Glad to see him back
Yes.
as a general manager. He just got back from training. He's actually on like a 20 budgeted hour job right now.
Awesome. That's great.
So yeah, yep, he's out there working. And so my role this year is completely different than what I'm used to. I'm used to selling, used to coming here to the office, doing the Monday. Actually, Jeremy does the meeting. I kind of fill in, or I'm there and I participate.
Hmm.
Um, and I just go out my day. That's what I did last year. I was alone most of the day, selling, talking to customers. Um, and then now I've actually got people that directly report to me. And so,
Hmm.
I'm the regional manager for uh, all three locations, and then I've been training our new estimator, Jordan. So it's been different. It's been a lot different. I love sales. I love that part of it. Managing, even though it's completely different than what I'm used to, and I'm having to learn how to get good at that. So
Yeah, 100%. It's different than leading in other capacity out in the field and routing and dispatching all the crews. It's like you have to relearn everything because it's a whole new season of your life and business.
yeah, 100%. And even estimating is still in the field, and so I was able to
Yes.
get a lot of steps in. Didn't really have to alter my diet. Now I've realized that I'm in the office a lot more, and I don't
Hmm.
get those steps in. So I got took Mike's advice. I got a treadmill up under the
Yes.
desk. So
Yes. If
I'm
anybody
not just
wonders
I'm
while
not
you're
just
rocking back and forth.
yeah. And so usually you don't even think about the steps if you're in the field. You
Yep.
might get 10,000 steps a day, and but once those steps are gone, you'll start gaining weight if you don't if you don't do something about it. So
Yep. So I found that it actually affects every single area of your life when you completely change a role like that. And so you're right. You have to readdress the diet, the sleep, the relationships, the whole thing changes.
yeah, yeah, I really enjoy it though. The meetings I like a lot. I think having a partner like Jeremy, being the
Hmm.
general manager of Augusta, it's not that I took it for granted, but it's like me making instead of just him calling me or us meeting between us going to and from,
Hmm.
uh, work on problems kind of reactionary wise, or when we had
Yes.
um, making that once a week meeting, coming up with an action, like just like I do with the franchisees for the coaching.
Hmm.
Uh, we have our call, we have an action plan, and then we work on it. And so it works for everybody, because now with me and Jeremy, we'll go over um, the KPIs, do the general manager sheet, just like we do with everybody else, and then we'll come up with the action plan, and he'll have his part, and then what we've done this week. I said, hey man, with your action plan, and if there's anything else, how about you tell me what you need my help with?
Yeah.
So I
That's
take
great.
that part of the action plan, put it in my to dos for this next week, and that's my high priority task. So it's like, hey, if you need my help, I'm there.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
a lot.
that changes as well. Like, so I have Mike come by my desk, same thing, and he'll say, "Is there anything you need help with?" Or he'll say, do you need anything from me?" And then if I say yes, we address something. If I say no, he's good to go and carry on with his other things.
Yeah, and it's important for sure because you could easily like a high functioning guy. He's gonna be fine, but we're gonna be
Hmm.
better together. You know, if we're on the
Yes.
same page, we both have our to dos, and they're kind of like synergistic, right? You know,
Hmm.
he's he's on operations, and so the more that he can focus purely on operations, for instance, I think I don't know what his we also changed our office around, so that's
Okay,
what's
cool.
different. I'm actually in an office that has a door,
Nice.
and then I don't know if we've ever done an interview when we were in the meeting room. It was set up more open, like it was
No, I
the
think it
same
was
room
at
that
your house.
that's right. Um, so we have a room over there where the guys come in. We have our Monday meeting. We got the keys up on the board. Um, you know, it's just kind of like the place where people go all the time.
Hmm.
And so we made that their not like it's a break room, but like their end of the day room. That's the
Hmm.
guys' room. Put the refrigerator in there. Put all that stuff in there. And then me and Jeremy are in here, and then out there is our miniature tiny command center. Just
Sweet.
with our office staff. Yeah,
That's
our command center
fantastic.
support, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. And we love working with you. So just a little bit of a different angle today. You were a coach when we talked last time, and now we have voted in some new coaches as well. So how many total are there, and how has that experience progressed for you?
Yeah, I want to say there are 8 now, I believe, and one of the new additions um, is a general manager, Anthony Bertucci, out in West Hampton,
Mhm.
and I think that's a really cool dynamic. You know, getting he's been coached, and uh, he's got a different perspective because he's also an employee. He's got a you know absentee-ish owner
Mhm.
that you know, Anthony pretty much runs the show. Um, Jason trusts him to do everything. He's done really well at that role, and
Yes.
I think he's going to be an awesome addition to the coaching platform.
So those who don't know what the coaching program is, why would we need something like that in Augusta Nation, and how does one get chosen to be a part of it?
Yeah, so you know, everybody in Augusta Nation, we're all following the systems, so that's really cool. You know, it's kind of like if you're on a sports team, you know, we all want to win. And if you're on the specific sport, you know what that means, right? You know, how many runs, how many games won. We're all playing by the same rules. But everybody needs a coach, no matter how good you are, where you are in your career. Having a coach holds you accountable,
Yeah.
so that you do those steps to progress. Uh,
Hmm.
and so, how you become a coach is number one, you've been a part of Augusta for it's at least 1 year, 1 full year, if not two full years,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, but preferably too. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 full years. You're in the systems. You're successful in the systems, and you want to be a coach. Number one,
Hmm.
and then number two, I believe you submit it and you get once a year, the new coaches get chosen.
Yeah, and then do you have meetings together to collaborate over what some of the owners are going through, or how good you're coaching?
Yeah, yeah. Once a month on a Tuesday, um, we all get together for a Zoom call, and we go over like we'll have game day footage. So before the call, we may listen to a couple good calls or
Hmm.
something specific to a framework we're working on that's been handed down from Mike, and we'll have feedback for each other. You know, like if a call didn't go well, we can submit it and be like, how can we prevent this or how can we provide more value going forward.
Yeah, it's been absolutely successful from what we've seen. Now, you were a part of the Blue Collar Summit this year, and how was that different than years in the past, do you think?
This year, I really felt the Augusta. I don't know, just something in the room was like everybody that was from Augusta just really has this energy about them. and it's like
Hmm.
kind of like a family reunion. um,
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because it's my sixth one or fifth one. Um, the other people in the room, you could tell the excitement of the ones that came to ultimately join Augusta. Um,
Hmm.
that's what I found that was different. For me, it was more. I've heard a lot of the information, so it's more
Hmm.
of like just a feeling and getting to connect one on one with people that may talk to on WhatsApp or Zoom throughout the year.
Hmm.
And then this year for me, I don't know, it just felt like Augusta has developed a presence that is just different.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree with that. And what was your participation? We had you be one of the speakers in a breakout session. So, can you tell us what those are about, and then what it was like for you to be asked and put material together, and what was your topic?
Yeah. So there was, you mean the one that was the breakout session or the
Yes.
Augusta one?
Yeah,
Okay, so the
for the so
breakouts.
just so the people know, we do a full conference for the franchisees in the morning and throughout the day on the first day, and then the summit starts at 4 o'clock p.m.
Yeah, and so the breakout one for the public was we had some options, depending on what how your age, your experience, what you were interested in. And we had a jogging group, we had under 25, and then mine was Bible study. And so um, I've been intentional with establishing a better relationship with God for the past, I guess, 6 years now, or I guess my
Hmm.
son's about to be 7. Time flies. But
Hmm.
I've I've definitely never spoken or conducted a Bible study. And so you called me up or you messaged me, asked me if I'd be willing to do it. And number one, I would never say no to something you asked, just because how much I respect you in Augusta, and as much as you've done for me. So I would never say no. But this one, you asked me to speak in front of business owners about business, um, or pretty much anything that I'm comfortable with, and I love it. It's my thing.
Yeah.
Um, this one, immediately, whenever I heard, I was like, "What am I going to talk about?"
Hmm.
And I'm in the Word daily, uh, but I don't participate in Bible studies, with other people
Hmm.
as much as I'd like. And I don't know, it weighed heavy on me for the longest time. Um,
Hmm.
you know, like procrastination was one thing,
Yeah.
uh, but the other thing was just I'd never spoken about it, and it's such a different topic, something that's just to me much more important, and I don't
Yeah.
have as much knowledge on. And
Hmm.
so, luckily, Connor Stead, I knew he was, he's in Evansville, Indiana, and another franchisee, and he's coached my guys, I've coached him, and so we have a relationship. I knew he was, in the youth ministry, and he's done this a lot. So
Hmm.
I was like, "Hey, man, would you help me?" uh,
Awesome.
because the 2-day thing, and he immediately said, "Yeah, sure, no problem." And we were on the plane ride. I had topics for him, and then I was on the plane ride over, and we were working on a document. I was working on a document. I texted him, and he was working on the same document. Showed me his material, and I completely changed mine.
Wow.
Just right then, I was like, stayed up all night. He had an awesome template, and
Hmm.
yes, I stayed up all night the night before, and I really enjoyed it. Ended up
Hmm.
as soon as I was in there in the room with people that I knew, your brother, Mike, everybody that was there, I was like, this is going to be okay. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah. It was absolutely profound. We've never done that before. And we just listened to feedback from the audience each year. And that was one thing they requested, was that there'd be breakout sessions on a lot of different things. And they requested a Bible study. And so what was your topic?
so my topic kind of started out as um, making sure that your your path aligns with God's will. Pretty
Hmm.
much, all of us as business owners, we God gave us this ambition, right? But it kind of intermingles with your own selfish ambition. It can.
Mm-hmm.
And so we all want to grow, we all want to get big, um, but doing it in a way that honors God and follows His will is what's really important. Because you
Mm-hmm.
can look at what the world, you know, is doing and what the world wants, but we as Christ followers, we're not called to do that. We're called to follow God, which is completely
Mm-hmm.
different. And when you're in the world of business, it's kind of like you've got the world because that's getting profit and all that. It's important.
Mm-hmm.
Using it for God's will is really the purpose. And so, and then I kind of laid into my testimony, just my experience of going through it. Um, the different challenges of being a business owner, um, with a family, and transitioning and trying to don't grow the business, but also not lose my family in the process.
100%.
Um,
Yeah, you telling your story and being so vulnerable, I think when you talked about the other parts, it really cemented it and made it really a reality to everyone. I think it was really good. Bought the room for 50 people, and I think we had 60 something. It was absolutely packed around the walls and everything. So we know it's definitely something that people appreciated and would want to have again. And I appreciate you doing that and being brave. And that is the way it is at Augusta. We are not very comfortable, and we're always pushing each other to be better, for sure. And so when you spoke at the franchise gathering, so for those listening, we have tried to pull in some franchisees that have been successful and we feel have a lot to share and value to give. And we asked them to share about successes in their year on a secular level. So we didn't have any, spiritual, family kind of things. But the thing that was successful for you this year was putting out door hangers. And a lot of people in our industry are doing that and finding it very successful. And the materials that Mike puts out from the media team, a lot of people purchase, not just in Augusta Nation, but all over, and then they just can edit the templates the way they want and have them printed. So can you tell us a little bit about that journey and the success of that for you and your team?
yeah, so it really started um, last year is when it really got tested, and we found out that it was going to be a success, because I think everyone in the home service industry knows door hangers existed, and it kind of went
Yes,
from, yeah, that's kind of old school, that doesn't work anymore, to now it's the thing. And
100%.
what what makes it the thing is actually the instant price. Because before, we would put a door hanger with our logo, the services we offer. That was pretty much it. There was no
Mm-hmm.
hook. There was no reason to act. So last year, I hired somebody full time, and they're able to get out 1,500 to 2,000 a week. We targeted about 6,000 houses and hit them 3 times. So we put out about 18,000 door hangers,
Oh my
and
goodness.
yeah, and so we were able to onboard. I think we onboarded a total of like 200 customers from door hangers. And
Wow.
so, yeah, from the Augusta and North Augusta location. Um, and so it was really successful last year, and we are in the business of adding recurring mowing customers. That's our number
Okay.
one flagship
Mm-hmm.
service. And so it allows you to go directly into the place you want to have mows, place you're already, kind of route dense in, and go farm them. Everything else, you got the offer out there. Somebody has to go and click on it. Well, you basically go and click on them on their door, and
Mm-hmm.
then it's right there. And so the price is there for their house. All they have to do, I've got one down there somewhere, but all they have to do is now they can scan a QR code, goes to the form. Um, they fill out their information, take a picture of their door hanger, and it's basically an automatic acceptance. And so it's
Yes.
very frictionless for the consumer.
Yeah, so when it pops back to your office, you consider that an accepted estimate. You mark that estimate accepted, and then your team just schedules the job and sends the customer confirmation of that.
So I will say there's a slight caveat to that. We do accept it. We don't schedule it until we get a card on file. That's just our policy,
March.
um, because we need to get them to accept. like just admit that they accepted, because
Hmm.
we have had people, send the door hanger in. We'll do the service, and they say, "I thought that was just an estimate." And
Yeah.
so, to make sure crystal clear, our office contacts them, either just getting their credit card on file, or we say, "Hey, we can't. Thank you for accepting this mo. We will glad to get you on the schedule. We need a card on file." And so
So
that's either
when
by email or phone.
Okay, so you don't have to actually talk to them, but when you click complete in Copilot, doesn't it automatically send them thank you for accepting your estimate. We need to get a card on file. Is that automated?
Yeah, yeah, it'll send them the thank you. You do need to send them, not exactly automated. When you're scheduling them, the thank you and welcome as far as the date of their mowing, their typical day of the week. And I think that asks again for a credit card. So
Yeah, so
that,
when I think the way our automation is set up here, most of them is when you click accept, it sends them a thank you for accepting. And like, we're so excited. And now the next step is we just need to get a card on file before we can provide service. So that's why I asked if you do
that's right.
that, or if you actually have to call them to confirm, do you really want this?
No, so yeah, they do get that automatic one. Um, but we are pretty quick. We're not trying, if they do it and they get it, that's fine. It gets,
Mhm.
they'll put it on themselves. But we're usually pretty fast and want to get that card on file immediately. So um, we do call them, but we have the luxury to do that because we have our, Jeremy's in the office, and now we've got another team member that's office staff as well.
So
Or
questions
we can get
that
command center to call them if we wanted to.
Yeah, yeah, or we can do it for you. Questions that people would ask would be, did you hire somebody specifically to put out the door hangers, or was it your own team and you just wherever they were mowing, they did 5 and 9 rounds?
Yeah, I wish our team would have adopted that culture, and maybe if I early on would have instilled it, you could. I think if you could definitely, I think you could promote a culture of door hanging. But if you want to get out that many, I do believe you're either going to do it yourself, which if you have time and you don't have money, that's the option. If you're
Hmm.
just getting started, you don't have budgeted hours, you've got plenty of time. So use that time to do door hangers. If you're a little bit more established and you are, even if you are say the $500,000 model, you may have time early on, but then as spring rush comes on, you're scheduling projects, you're doing some projects. You may not have the time to get out as many as you need. So I hired a full-time person last year, ended up getting very lucky. He's now, he did a full year with us in the field, and now he's our first office staff. Um,
So
so
this
that went
person
really
that you
well. I
hired,
really is the only person I had to hire.
so you can't really hire somebody that's in college or high school because you have to have somebody that can actually estimate the lawns.
So this year I did something different. I didn't have my best friend as my door hanger, and so I need to hang even more doors. And so we've taken, like, Jeremy's got his 14 people. Um, so he's getting anybody that wanted to come in early. We got two people that wanted to come in early from Augusta, and they're out doing door hanging right now before the mowing starts.
Wow,
And so right this second, I've got two full time ones. Matthew, who just started Aiken, is door hanging every day that he doesn't have budgeted hours.
I love it.
McKeat, same way. He might get out he got out 250 last week.
Wow.
And then I actually have started a system. I can kind of like an Instacart or like an Uber Eats driver situation.
Yes, yes.
So I've hired one high school kid. His name is Jackson. He's 15. His I know his parents, and so I just met with him this week. He's got a route for Saturday. He's going to do, I think, 400 of them. And
Awesome.
then, um, so I build the route. So it does take time. So I'll take a screenshot of an area, zoomed in on Google Maps where you can see the individual houses.
Yep.
I will circle it and color coordinate it So I have the circle in a color,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll have a block of text in a color for like 59.89 or 49.69. The prices coordinate to where it's circled, and I'll
Okay.
go in there and I will use the marker, red marker, to mark all the houses and count them. So they have a total, what their route's worth, because I pay 36 cents per door hanger.
Yep.
And so they know how many houses. They know, you know, they can see the streets. They might mess up. They're going to mess up. They're going to put the wrong
Mm-hmm.
door hanger. But when you're dealing in volume, I just need them hung. But they do have
Yes.
a, and so I'll send them their route. Um, and then I have them use Map My Walk, free app that tracks where you walk, and you can
Sweet.
actually, it should match the route that you gave them. And so I have them screenshot that and send it to me. And so
So how are you routing? If you haven't been to the neighborhood, are you having them put the house numbers on and everything, or are you finding all of that for them as well to do a route?
I'm finding all of it for them, and it's not as granular as house number, but it's
Okay.
street, and they can tell, where the circle stops.
Nice.
And so that's, yeah, there might be some doors hung that aren't supposed to be, but I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah, so because you're not a income generating employee at this time, then it's worth it for you to take the time to build this for him and then pay him whatever it is down there, a lot less than here, and pay him to take them
Yeah.
around and put them on the doors.
Yeah. Well, it's actually not too bad. They get, the guys that have been doing it are making $180 a day, um, hanging
Incredible.
doors. Yep. But those are the ones
Wow.
getting 500 doors hung.
And do they get some sort of kickback if you actually get the job?
I did that last year, and CJ made a whole lot of money. I gave them, because our employees, if they get a new customer, they get $50, and so I use
Mm-hmm.
that same bonus system. I gave them a little bit less last year as far as per 250 hung. I gave them
Okay.
60, and I gave them a $50 bonus for every acceptance. But I found they don't really have, any sort of control of who accepts. Um, they
Right.
just need to get pay. All I need is, if I get this amount of door hangers out, one customer comes in, and so I just
Mm-hmm.
make sense for my customer acquisition costs.
So do you put all these people in Copilot before you start? Since you have their address and all of that, do you pop the address in?
No. So what I do is, um, so all these guys that I've hired all on, just contractors, 1099. So they don't,
Okay.
technically work. And then the addresses here. Let me, can I share my screen with you?
Yeah, you can.
All right, let's do that. All right, let's see here.
Should be along that
Share.
bar.
Is it present?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yep. All right. Let's see if I can pull that up.
So did you do all this on the computer or did you screenshot your map and then draw on there for them?
I screenshotted it from my computer, and then
Mm-hmm.
I put it into my notes app of my phone, and
Okay.
then I shared the note with the team. So let me see if I can
So why
do
wouldn't
that
you
real
WhatsApp
quick.
that?
I do. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, screenshot. I send it to the team in a WhatsApp message. Yep.
Okay. So you just save it in your note app.
Yeah, I save it in my note app
Okay.
because I'm building a route, and so
Mm-hmm.
let me stop this. I'm building a route so that, those 6,000 homes that I target,
Mm-hmm.
I can just recycle. I don't have to build it again. And
Sweet.
so, like, I'll have different parts of town, route 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Um, and then it also helps me because I don't have any permanent door hangers right now.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody just says, "Hey, I want a route for Saturday," I can look, see what's next on my rotation, and I'll
Mm-hmm.
just shoot them the route, and
I
then
love
it's
it.
already made. It's taking me a lot of time. It's not built right now, but let me see if I can get this. think what I'll have to do is put WhatsApp on here. Because it's easier to see than it is to
Oh yeah, yeah,
show.
100%. I have a vision of it in my head, but I know this would be very beneficial to a lot of the viewers who have ordered door hangers and would never think of this process.
All right. And then I forget how I did it. WhatsApp web. How do you do that?
Oh yeah, to put it on the actual screen, you can do WhatsApp web and then it'll ask you to do the QR code with your camera.
Okay. WhatsApp.com.
It's wonderful to have it on your screen,
Yeah. Let's see if I can
especially when you're routing and dispatching.
web.whatsapp.com.
Hmm. And those of you
Web.
watching, Bryan did this at our Augusta conference, told us all about it. So if you're part of Augusta Nation, you get dibs on all of these things, and it's shared all over. But this is an opportunity for you to hear and to make those changes as well in your business and to get a lot more business from it. Is it working for you?
Yeah, believe so. WhatsApp. Open WhatsApp on your phone. Tap menu. Oh, link device. Settings. Link
Hmm.
device. Got it.
Watch and learn, people. WhatsApp web, and then it'll ask you to have a QR code that you just take a picture of with your camera, and it pops up on your screen. For those of you who have never done this, it was a game changer for us. We're able to communicate with the team all day long, send them jobs and voice notes, and it's been fantastic for all of us at Augusta.
You get to see my uncanny amount of tabs. It's ridiculous. All right. Go
No, we
there.
can't see any of that.
Share. Oh, you can't. Can you see my screen now though?
No.
Oh, sharing. Huh. Wonder why. I've got it shared. Maybe let's see here. Present.
There we
We'll
go.
stop
I'll add it.
screen.
Yep, try that again. And then I'll add it
Yep.
to the
All right.
stage for them.
All right, and then I'm gonna do that one.
Yep,
Share.
there we go.
All right,
There.
cool. So
Now we can see it.
you can see it. All right, let me scroll down and get into Caleb. All right. So here is, y'all see this right here?
Mm-hmm.
Here is one of his routes, a part of it. And so you see I've got Google Maps zoomed in enough. There we go. Zoomed in enough to where you can see the houses that I marked.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
And then total homes on this map is 176.
Okay.
And then it's got the fuchsia circled 5989. So he'll use the
Sweet.
5989 on that. And how he gets there is he just looks at the street. So Bunchgrass Street right here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, punch that into his GPS. He'll get there. He'll park. We'll typically have him park not in front of somebody's home, somewhere like a common space,
Okay.
and he'll walk that route. And then when he's done, he'll go over to the one highlighted in green, and he'll pull out his 4969. And so he does that. Does that make sense, Liz?
Yeah, totally. Do you have mows in there already? Like, is that if
Yes.
you sold these, you'd have a really dense route?
Yeah, we have in this one. I think we only have. Looks like we had a couple more, but do you see that area where it says "Do not
Mm-hmm.
hang"?
Yeah. Are those current
And
customers?
they are, yeah. And so he's got a list of "Do not hang," um, because we don't want them getting a potentially, most likely, a lower price than they're already paying.
Mm-hmm. So they have no paper except the door hangers themselves, right? Everything is digital on their phone, and then you just have notes on the note that you sent them on WhatsApp.
Right. Yeah, this is all on a WhatsApp chat. And so he's got this list of do not hang for both of these. And like this one right
Okay.
here, we got 349 homes in this section.
Huge.
Yeah, that's a great section to be in. And
So
they're all
you said,
smaller.
yeah, they're all about the same
Yep.
then.
Yep.
Now, somebody's going to ask, what if you get them wrong? Do you just plan on the next season doing a price raise for those same ones?
So if we get them wrong, we kind of leave that up to the team. And
Okay.
so, and then this is that app before I get off the page. This is
Okay.
the map my walk. And
Okay.
so it's free. They download it and they track when they start, and it traces, and it'll even show you how fast they walked. And so, they can't just drive through. If they're going out there and they're just walking and they're not putting your door hangers out, I mean that's pretty rare. Nobody's gonna go. Nobody's gonna go. I say nobody. I don't think anyone's gonna go for a 10-mile walk and just fake it like that. Like that's pretty serious.
And you're right. There's no way you're going to get your guys on mowing routes to do door hangers. I used to
Mm-mm.
find stacks of them in the back of the truck, and nobody had put them up. And I had one guy, he came to work one day and he said he couldn't sleep the night before because he had lied to me and told me that he handed all of them out. And I said, I know you lied to me. I found them all in the truck.
Oh man, not even a good
Yeah.
lie.
It wasn't a good line. So I knew I had to do the same thing as you did, which we never ended up doing, but sending somebody out to only hang door hangers is definitely a solution.
Oh yeah, yep. And so, funny thing happened yesterday. He's over there answering phones right now, and he said, "Brian, come here. I got somebody on the phone." And I was like, "Man, I got Command Center. I got you. Why am I on the phone? What do you need
No
me for?"
kidding.
But no,
Yes.
I was kidding. But he said somebody was asking about door hanging, and I was like, I haven't even posted a job except for just on my wall on Facebook. And so
Hmm.
I figured it was from my post on Facebook saying, "Hey, I'm
Hmm.
hiring door hangers." But she had just moved from Portland, Oregon. And so I asked her, I said, "Hey, how'd you hear about us?" And she said, "Well, I used to do some door hanging in Portland, and I'm here with my sister. Wanted to see if anybody was hiring for door hanging. So
No way.
I searched YouTubers that hire door hangers, and Mike Andes popped up talking about door hangers."
It's
I was
awesome.
like, okay, so that's how. So she's coming in at 11 today to have orientation for her door hanging. So
That is fantastic. I didn't know it was a business, but hey, to each his own. That's fantastic.
yeah, I had you've been a part of my woman in the red jet dress or the shiny
Yes.
object syndrome situation.
Yes.
I wouldn't say kind of like a AA. It's never cured. It's there, just kind of controlled. Um,
Yes.
but so I'll have these thoughts and like kind of Mike, what he does on his 6-week sprints or how he organizes. Be like,
Hmm.
that might be a good idea. I'll put it here. May not be productive. This one,
Hmm.
it's not even going to get a written down. But I was thinking, yes, I couldn't help it because of that woman and high school kid and people just saying, "Hey, I'll do a route," like Instacart or Uber Eats. Like if there was a company that could map out all the homes, um,
Hmm.
and be a B2B, and then also service people that want to make money, have all these homes and be mainly a home service business solution for companies that need door hangers.
Hmm.
And they have
Sweet.
these routes, and then people that want to hang doors, like, "Hey, this route is, this company is offering 40 cents a door hanger. Here's a route. You could pick it up anytime." You know,
I don't think that's
pretty
so
cool.
extreme because a few years ago, Mike and I had this idea that eventually we could sell Mo's on Amazon. So people could look
Yeah.
at an instant price form and they could put it in their cart and they could make the purchase. So their card would be on file. It would take them to the territory where they were. They could purchase the Mo. And no, I don't think any of those ideas are crazy at all. They're in fact something that could I won't say easily, but could definitely be implemented in the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would use it right now. I'd be like, all right, let's,
Yeah, me
I
too.
would, but for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So right now,
I'm all in on door hangers. All in.
yeah, yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I think that'll help a lot of business owners. Just to wrap up here today, can you tell us what you've been reading, listening to, kind of feeding on spiritually, business wise, leadership wise? Because you did say that your role has changed. And so, what are you doing to change yourself to match those roles?
Yeah. So, in the mornings, I start my day for me, being a Christ follower. I really love that time where nobody needs me. It's like that quiet time that I can actually get
Hmm.
in the Word and really be still.
Hmm.
And then one of the verses that came up today was a great one, Philippians chapter 4, verse 7. Um, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus.
Hmm.
And you know, for those that do follow, there's a piece that the world sells, and that could be in any flavor: a long vacation, retirement, um, delicious food, nice clothes, presence on social media, or just getting your way.
Hmm.
But then there's the piece that God offers that is free and carries with you even when the storm is at its worst.
Hmm.
Even when life is throwing you sickness or relationship breakdown or financial strain, that piece is offered to you. So that's
Hmm.
how I start my morning, go through that.
Hmm.
And I've been reading a little bit less lately and just kind of executing on what I've learned. But I keep one voice in my head a lot for the leadership type deal, and that's John C. Maxwell.
Okay.
Um,
Yes.
and so he's just got some really good practical stuff that I just
Hmm.
keep in my head. And if I find myself where I do have time to just read, like right now, I'm in or getting through Everyone Communicates, Few Connect, and
Awesome.
it's really good. A really good book on that's gonna be basically my role is communicating to my
Hmm.
team, and I know how to sell, pretty decent at that. It's similar, but it's you got to be even more intentional um, with your team that's going to be here all the time versus that one interaction with the customer.
What's the title of that book?
It is Everyone Communicates, Few Connect.
Okay, so that's the actual title.
Yep, that is a really good one. The next one by him is Winning with People that I've got on my list.
Excellent. All right. Well, people will definitely want to hear that one on Audible. I will make sure that I go back and hear that one, both of those for sure. If they're in the Audible, it is so good to refresh. I wish I could go back and listen to all 500 and something in mine and the 500 and something in the Team Augusta. But I found that as you turn a corner and are in another season of business, it's like you gleaned parts from all of those and you've moved on to something else. The same with podcasts. I found the same people I followed before. I don't need that anymore, so to speak. I can move on and go to a different kind of content that helps me a little more where I am now. So, are you listening to any podcasts?
I've actually won. I've narrowed it down to one. I used to, and it is C-Suite Unfiltered with
Ooh,
Lee
shout
and
out to
Mike.
Lee.
That's the
That's
only one I
great.
listen to. It's my
That's
favorite.
great.
I don't care what I'm doing when that thing's on. I'm on. I'm doing it.
I love it.
It's really cool. Really cool seeing both of them. In a outside of their normal where you would see them. In their
Yeah,
business.
yeah.
Just kind of
And
free
Lee
talking.
said that Lee told me yesterday he really tries to keep it a little more vanilla and not pull Augusta into it. It's just a way for people to connect with Mike on a different level.
Yeah, 100%. There is one thing I wanted to share before we get
Sure.
off. If you had anything else, that's fine. But this right here, for those that aren't in Augusta, or even those that are in Augusta that just
Mhm.
recently came from another, maybe they had their name on a sign, maybe their last name was on it, or the name they created. I keep this here. This is where I had a business before I had Augusta,
Mhm.
but it's not the pride I had in this. It's so that I can be reminded of a failure.
Wow.
Um, so this is not
Wow.
like, nostalgic of like, oh man, I created this thing. No, this I wanted to burn. This
Yeah.
was hell for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible. Um, and then when I found this, it changed my life. Um, it enabled me to be the person I am now, like
Hmm.
financially, because before I still have this big ambition, but it's not weighing on me. If it
Yeah.
happens, it's meant to be. Um, but my family needed me now, and so I because of Augusta, I've come out of financial ruin, and I can be home at 5 o'clock. I can pick back up at 3 in the morning,
Hmm.
and be just fine. So,
No,
yeah, I
I
just wanted to share
appreciate
that little tidbit.
it. Well, that's so good. I think that's the same for all of us. You turn a corner, and when I talk about relationships with franchisees when they first come here for their training now, I do a talk on the long scale and the long vision of their uh, time with Augusta, which is basically a marriage. It's 10 years. So our
Yeah,
relationships are going to go through crazy times. And I told them at the one last week, it is going to change your life. Everything you do with us will affect your kids, your family, all the other people in business, just by the community, even the way you look at things and your outlook on life will also change, I've found.
yeah, 100%, one
Yeah,
hundred percent.
I really like what you said, where you've kind of taken away all the other things that are around you that could cause a less of a focus, and just went down to the two podcasts. I've done that too, and unsubscribing from all of those things took me forever. Going on Facebook and leaving groups, I left every group, and I'm not. And then I went through Instagram and cleaned all of that out. I'm hardly ever on any of those platforms except for Augusta anyway. So it was not a hard thing to do. The harder thing to do was Mike and I were talking one day, and he said sometimes people they start digesting information that they don't really need for their role. And so it gets colluded and muddled. And so I remember that he had said to you one time, when you were up here and you were reading things and doing, what was that system called? The EOS system?
Yeah,
Yeah, when
yeah,
you were doing that, and he said to you, you are reading things and trying to implement things for this company, which is a $7 million company, and you are, what were you at, 250?
I think at the time when I was reading it, we were just under a million. Yeah,
Yeah,
750.
okay, so you were bigger. And so
But
even
still,
then, still,
yeah,
yeah, there's no
it doesn't even
comparison.
apply it doesn't even apply for what we got going on, and we'll do 2 million now.
100%.
So,
And so I
so
realized when we were talking, he said, people listen to things, all kinds of stuff for their businesses that has nothing to do with where they are. And then they get complexes and they don't understand why they're not where that person is. Or if the person is below them or like behind them a little bit, then they're critical of them and like they're wasting their time. And so for me, I cut out like I rarely listen to Alex and Layla even because I realize they are getting thousands of applications a day that they weed through for people coming to fix their businesses. And that's not the role I'm in. And so I realize the same too. If I go all in on the one thing, which is my team and command center and the franchise as a whole, then it's going to make me better faster, and it's going to make what I touch better instead of thinking, oh, wow, Layla does it like this or Layla does it like that. And then I realized there's areas that we have in place that we do better than them because we've been doing it longer. And what's working for her is 100% different than what I should be doing. So I listen to some of that but I've mostly stopped that completely and dialed in on what I'm doing. And that has really helped me. And I think that more people should adopt that because think of there's only so much time and we digest information that's not pertinent. It depends on what your goals are. But my goals are to grow the franchise and to make money. And to do that, you can't have all this stuff going on.
Exactly. Like for me early on, um I I would think that I could do more and like take on more than I actually could because I wanted to be
Yeah.
somewhere that was way down the road. And
Yes.
the one thing I took from the EOS, the rocket fuel and traction,
Mhm.
it was something that I could have because I had my team. I had Jeremy read it. I had some people read it. We went through the whole thing. Yeah, it's probably thought I was nuts, but he did it. The one thing is the rocks, and it's really just a
Yes.
list of priorities, like in the meetings, the meeting cadence, and in the rocks. That's it.
The rocks. It's so true. That is the best analogy, and we would repeat it, except that everybody's heard it.
Yep,
Yeah. So to
100%.
wrap up, the title of that book is basically a quote. But did you have another quote that you've been thinking on and using with your team and your family and for yourself?
Um, no, I'm not real. I know I should have. Next interview I will prepare a quote. But no, I'm not
You-
real. I can't even think of famous people's names when I know who they are. So like quotes to me are just like you
You can act like they're your own quote.
oh, I haven't really come up with any honestly. I just right now I am honestly just in execution mode.
Yeah, that's
Just
good.
whatever is directly in front of me, just go after it. And that's one of the things I was gonna, like when you feel like all of us want to, most of us in Augusta and people listening in business, they want the big stuff.
Hmm.
They want to be somewhere they're not. And the problem with that is like focus on what you are, where you're at, and the
Hmm.
things required for that. That's the most important thing. Like
Yeah.
the consuming of the information is not the thing. It's the application of the information that's the thing. So if you're stuck in information downloading, and you're not processing it and using it, then you're just learning like academics. You're not
Hmm.
you're not actually doing it. So it's
100%. That's great.
you know
Yeah. Execute people. That is the moral of the story. And put out door hangers for goodness sake.
yeah. If you think you put out a lot, multiply that number by 20 and put out
Yeah.
more.
So good. That's so good. Do you remember the story Alex told where the gym owner told him to go put out flyers and he put out 300 and he came back and the guy's like, "What are you doing back here?" And he's like, "Well, I put out a lot." And he's like, "How many?" And he said 300. And what did he tell him? It was some outrageous number. He said, come back when you've put that many out."
He said his test sample size is no less than 5,000. That's just
There
a
you go.
test. Yeah. So and that's the truth. I think Augusta Nation might put out close to 3/4 of a million door hangers this year.
Oh my
That's
word.
that's my estimate.
That's a good one. I think it would be fun for everybody to say at the end of the year what they've put out.
Yeah, that'll be good. Well, it's
Yeah.
always a pleasure, Liz, and I'm happy to jump on anytime you need me.
Thank you. You have an awesome day.
Yeah, you as well.
Bye.